Welcome to OutSolve's Weekly Outlook, where we bring you the latest news that impacts your workplace. I'm Meghan Spera, here again with Jeremy Mancheski, bringing you the latest that you need to know this week. Jeremy, I would love to start off with OutSolve's most recently released research report. It's called Pay Transparency and Pay Equity, the Business Impact on Performance, Risk, and Reputation. Tell us a little bit about the findings from that report.
Well, like so many other things in HR, federal government goes one way, states go another. Pay transparency is something that over the last several years, this isn't new, has been a real evolving topic. Of course, OutSolve does compensation analyses for customers, but what we're seeing is pay transparency just continues to grow. It's Maine and Virginia are the two latest to have significant pay transparency laws, and you'll see in the study it's a significant aspect of employment. A little fact for us. Almost 70%, 69% of employees are willing to discuss compensation with each other. So roughly 2/3 of employees are willing to discuss compensation. So these pay transparency laws, on the surface feel like just a reporting requirement of sorts, postings, et cetera. But the reality is they're creating compensation concerns within your workforce.
Sure. And what risks should employers be aware of if they post salary ranges first without reviewing their compensation practices and pay decisions first?
Well, frankly, you risk upsetting your current workforce. This posting is for more than my current salary or whatnot. It causes conversation, it causes morale issues, et cetera. What we recommend, and a very practical thing to do, of course, you have to be on top of the pay transparency laws. If you're a multi-state employer, there are a significant number of states that currently have pay transparency laws, and as Maine and Virginia, for instance, new ones happening all the time. You have to first comply. Then I suggest a benchmarking study so that we can be certain that our pay is falling within reasonable tolerances. And then, of course, pay equity analyses from there. So I think those three are intimately related. Pay transparency, then benchmarking, and then compensation analysis.
Sure. And so we talked about some of those risks. What would be some of the benefits of digging into a pay equity analysis?
This gives you confidence, frankly. If an employee comes to you and says, my pay is too low. Notice no employees ever said their pay is too high. My pay is too low. The posting says this. The responsibilities say that. By doing a benchmarking study and then pay equity analyses, you have confidence in your results and also be able to maintain better morale within your workforce.
Sure. And what do you recommend organizations do first to make the transition to pay transparency really seamless?
First, know the laws. Know which states are impacted and know that you have a solid plan for complying. Compliance is first, okay? You have to make sure you're at least meeting the letter of the law. Then, like I say, a benchmarking study, particularly in high volume jobs, maybe start slow at first, but where high volume, high turnover roles where you're going to be doing a lot of posting, do that benchmarking, and then work towards a pay equity analysis. I think we've seen over the years companies starting with the goal of saying, I want pay equity, and not really knowing what they're embarking on. Pay transparency allows us to take that first baby step to say we have compliance first, benchmarking second, and then pay equity can come as a natural result.
Great. And as you mentioned, Jeremy, OutSolve offers pay transparency consulting, compensation benchmarking, pay equity analyses. So this is an area where we can absolutely support you. If you are in need, please don't hesitate to reach out. Switching gears, temporary protected status has been in the news a lot recently. What should employers who have an employee from one of those affected countries do?
First, monitor the USCIS website. This changes seemingly daily, okay? Some countries get in, then they go out. There's a threat, and then the threat is pulled back. The administration is trying to terminate temporary protected status for some countries, but they're tied up in litigation right now. So take a step back, figure out what is real, and separate fact from fiction.
Yes. And this is another area where we would love to partner with you. OutSolve offers an I-9 management solution. Part of that is monitoring all of these updates for you and making sure that you are aware. Another quick note, the VETS 4212 reporting portal opens on August 1st. If you meet the requirements to file this report, you have until September 30th to do so. And that's another area where we would love to connect and support you if you are in need. So reach out to your consultant or reach out to the OutSolve sales team, and we would be happy to support you. And as always, we want to make sure that you are aware of our upcoming webinars and an opportunity to stay plugged in and learn more. August 26th, Building a Defensible Pay Strategy. September 16th, I-9 Compliance, Spotting and Correcting Substantive Errors Before They Cost You. And October 28th, HR Compliance Planning for 2027. You can register for these webinars by going to outsolve.com/events. And as always, continue the conversation at HR Gumbo City. It's OutSolve's Slack community. It is built specifically for HR professionals. Much like the research report that we discussed here today, you have exclusive first access to those other guides and checklists. So go to outsolve.com/HRG-city to join today. And thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to connecting with you again soon.